Okay guys, for today's video, I want to take a deeper look at the AI in the NHL 25 deep dive trailer. I saw on Twitter, I wish I could throw it up, I don't recall who tweeted it, but they showed off some pretty questionable AI decisions in the trailer that I didn't notice on the first couple watches, but now I've slowed it down and kind of looked out for any mistakes the AI made, and I wanted to point them out, not to just nitpick the game, because that's not how I am, but I know there's people that are going to be deciding whether or not to buy the game, and I want them to understand the full story of the game. So if you're on the fence and AI is something that is going to make you not buy the game or buy the game, this video is for you. So we'll start off with the first clip here, and honestly it's a very slight thing. I'll just let it play here. So just like that, it's over. These clips are really quick, so we'll just have to slow it down and go back in. So just a little shot here by Tkachuk and a rebound. The thing that bothers me here is I feel like something we see in NHL 24 is the defenders like to knock it into their own net, which can be quite annoying. And if we take a look at what Matheson does here, he swats the puck down, which honestly I would say he doesn't really have to do. You could argue in real life this might happen due to reaction, but he really doesn't have a reason to do that. And when he ends up redirecting it on net, which ends up being pretty dangerous as the goalie has to make a pretty decent save here. So I'm a little bit disappointed on that one. I was really hoping that would be something that would get fixed. So for this next clip here, we have the Montreal Canadiens versus Philadelphia. So it's a really slight thing here, but Slavkovsky's taking it towards behind the net, and you can see the goalie's already on the post, which makes me worried as to whether or not this could be a little glitch goal. And if we just continue on through here, the goalie comes off the post once the pass is made, which is good in anticipation to make the save. Obviously he doesn't get to it. I don't have a big problem with this pass and play going into the net. My big concern is whether or not you can exploit the goalie on the post, as you could do pretty easily in NHL 24. So I'm just hoping that the goalies deal with behind the net plays a bit better and know when and when not to be on their post. Now moving on to this next clip, it's kind of funny, but obviously it's pretty bad. We have New York Rangers versus Carolina. What I want you to bring your attention to is this guy behind the net, who I believe is Panarin here. He's winding up for the one-timer, even though he's literally like behind the net, so I don't really know how he expects to score that goal. Now I know Panarin's really good, but I feel like that's a tough shot, and you can see the reaction one-timer is loading up here. Obviously his positioning isn't good, so it goes away, but he's still coming around here kind of in a slight wind up. Maybe he's just two-hand holding the stick there, but even behind the net that just looked bad, and then you got a bad pass attempt, but that one I think is pretty bad. The next one we got here is really a positioning one that you gotta pay attention to. Now obviously I'm no NHL coach, I don't know positioning 100% the best, but if we just look at this, it looks pretty bad. Now I don't mind the defenseman taking the post here, and you know, the center's on the other post, and then this defender's on Terry. It's not terrible, but as this play plays out, things start to get really bad, where we have the defender on the post, Anderson is kind of just in the middle of nowhere, and same with Deneau here. And if we continue to let this play out, you can see McTavish gets a pretty bad angle shot, but still, like, Deneau, what is he doing? Bro just looks completely lost. Very late to react to all of this breaking down, so I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Doesn't look all that great. Moving on here to the next clip, we have another positioning one where, again, slight thing, you could argue that maybe it's because the player isn't very smart defensively. It's possible, but if we take a look at, funny enough, the guys that EA are highlighting here in Zari and I believe that's Joseph, you can see Zari kind of slides off of Joseph here straight into the goalie and just kind of stands in the crease, like almost in the goalie, and then just leaves Joseph like wide open. So I don't really know what he's doing, and even in the attempt to get back to like block the shot, he takes like a wide approach. It's just not great. It's not a great look for EA there. So this is the one that I think I saw on Twitter that really kind of made me think of rechecking out the trailer more deeply. So it looks pretty good here. They're showcasing, you know, Velarde stops up to take the pass. All of that is good, but if you take a little look at a guy named Scheifele here, number 55, he kind of just goes and crashes the net, and now he's behind the goalie. You could argue maybe he got pushed in kind of by Dursey here, or maybe it's a bit of a glitchy play, and he ends up blocking the shot too, I believe, or maybe that went off the blocker, but still just not a very good look there for Scheifele. Would have preferred if he, you know, maybe stayed back, looked for a rebound, maybe went for a screen, something like that. Just not go into the crease and just kind of stand there. Now the next clip we have here is another positioning one. At first glance, it seems okay, but when you break it down, it looks a bit rough. So Sagan does a nice little draw pass here to Heiskanen. That's all good. My problem stems with how the defender takes this. Now again, maybe he's not a good defender. I'm not too sure who this is, but he kind of just stops and stands there. Again, you could argue that maybe that's just due to his stats and stuff like that, and I have no problem with that if that's true, but I would like if he at least like threw the stick out in like a half attempt to hit the puck off his stick, disrupt the shot, but he kind of just lets it go, and you know, Heiskanen scores off of it. So the next one we have here is kind of one that I took a long look at, and I've decided that, yeah, it's kind of questionable what's going on here. So if we just kind of let it play through here, it's just a simple pass into a one-timer and a shot. They're showcasing obviously the timed one-timers, absolute snipe. My problem here kind of stems from the goalie here. Now he is low energy, so that might be the reason why he kind of made the wrong play here in my opinion, but he's acting like he's being screened, and you know, there are two guys in front of him, but I think he has a sight line here, maybe he doesn't, and then the pass goes across here and the goalie kind of just doesn't really react to it properly. Like again, maybe the sight line is blocked here. I'm not too sure how they do the sight lines on the goalie. I feel like he should be in a good enough position to kind of see the shot, but it's like he goes kind of right here. I don't really know what he's doing. The glove doesn't even come up in an attempt to make a glove save. So just again, I'm nitpicking here, but that's the point of the video, just wanting to point little things out. Here's another one involving goalie, sightline, and positioning here. So we have Fox here with the gold passing X factor, going to give a crisp pass here to Zibanejad for the one-timer. All of this is obviously like perfect. This pass should get through. There's a clear sight to the shot. I would argue maybe this defender's in a bit of no man's land here, but you could argue he's just taking the man here or trying to kind of take both. But what I want to look at here is Sorokin. So you can see Sorokin's kind of in an animation as if he's trying to get a good sight line. He's somewhat screened here, but just looking at this, I think you could see that he should be able to see this pass going through, but just watch how late he reacts to this. Look at that. Pass is almost there. He still hasn't reacted, and looks like right here is where he finally starts going into a reaction. So, you know, he somehow almost gets a piece of it. Not really, kind of. Well, I guess sort of, but I really wish he would have followed the play a little bit better, especially when you're looking at who should be a high overall goalie in Sorokin. I know he had a down year, but I doubt they're going to nerf him all that much. Again, here, this one kind of has to do with defensive positioning here. This is a simple pass from Vlasic into Athanasiou, I believe, with a timed one-timer, and he greens it, and it obviously gets tipped off the defender stick and goes into the net. I think that tip looks pretty realistic and it looks good, and I like what I'm seeing here. My problem stems from what is St. Louis doing here? Now, I know St. Louis isn't the best team on paper, but it's like, you know, I think this is Kyrou. He's taking his man. It's not a power play, but there's three forwards just kind of standing in the, or not three forwards, but three players standing here, both defensemen. The center's kind of, I don't really know what he's doing, and I feel like that's been my problem with some of these clips, is the center doesn't really seem like they know where to go. So if we just continue to play here, look, he like backs off instead of like, he should be pressuring this, in my opinion, to try block the shot, you know, disrupt the shot. He should already be up higher than this. I don't know why he's so low. Again, it's just weird. It seems like maybe he was trying to take this guy here, but it's like, even if you want to argue that he should be here and be in this position, then this forward should be coming up to here. Again, maybe it's due to ratings, not very good defensive IQ and stuff like that. If they implemented that properly, amazing, but I kind of think it's just an overall AI problem. And finally, we have the last clip here. We got the Capitals on the power play. So this is going to be a simple pass from Mangiapane to Ovechkin in his office for a one-time goal here, far side. So again, this one's kind of a defender thing here. I think this is Dry still here, maybe someone else, but I just don't understand what he's doing here. Like, this guy is pressuring this guy. I guess you could say he's kind of watching the guy right here / following the play, which I don't have a problem with. Once this pass gets made, yes, he's a bit out of position here, not really in a great spot to make a play, but if you just watch him, he doesn't really do anything. I wish he would like at least throw the stick over, try to disrupt the pass, disrupt the shot, maybe block the shot. I just feel like there's more options he has to do, but he reacts super late here and just gives Ovechkin the easy goal. So again, guys, I just wanted to showcase all of this for anyone maybe on the fence who cares about this stuff. I think you have the absolute right to have this weigh on your opinion of whether or not you buy the game, and I just wanted to provide the info. Overall, the big question is going to be, is the AI actually better? And from what I've seen from the trailer, the rest of it looks good. There's things I like the reactionary things where the players avoid other players in offensive zone, defensive zone. All of that looks great, but it's unfortunate that it looks like some of the more minor things that lead to like big causes are still in the game for the AI. So if you guys enjoyed the video, appreciate me pointing this stuff out to you guys. I would appreciate a like, a subscribe, and until next time guys, take care of yourselves.